7 Secrets of the Super Elderly. How to maintain strong muscles in your 80s. It is notable that by the age of 80, individuals can experience up to a 50% reduction in muscle mass when compared to their younger years. Sarcopenia is a serious condition that affects more than 50 million seniors globally, quietly undermining the independence of countless people. Annually, more than 300,000 seniors are hospitalized due to falls that can be directly attributed to muscle weakness. The genuinely surprising aspect: findings published in the Journal of Physiology indicate that significant muscle loss is not an inevitable conclusion. Have you ever wondered why some 80-year-olds seem to have decades less in their bodies? How is it possible for certain individuals to retain strength and vitality that many 50-year-olds have already lost? What do these super seniors know that 93% of older adults are completely unaware of? While many accept weakness as an inevitable part of aging, a select few continue to surprise doctors with their exceptional strength. These extraordinary individuals not only maintain independence, but continue to play sports, go hiking, and live fully. What's the secret behind this impressive vitality that defies traditional medical expectations? Recent studies have revealed specific practices that can not only slow down, but effectively reverse muscle loss, even after age 70. Stay with us until the end, as the first habit we'll reveal is probably something you're mismanaging every day. This common mistake activates genetic pathways that accelerate muscle deterioration, potentially determining whether you will live independently or dependently. Let's get started. 1. The silent time bomb. What really destroys your muscles after 60? Sarcopenia begins much earlier than most realize, around the age of 40, with no visible warning signs. Your body may already be losing up to 1% of muscle mass annually, with no noticeable symptoms or functional limitations. This loss accelerates significantly after the age of 60, becoming a real time bomb for their future independence. Muscles are essential metabolic organs that regulate glucose, immunity, and even cognitive function, not just structures for movement. When your muscles start to disappear, you compromise your entire metabolism, not just your immediate physical strength. Muscle loss affects your hormonal balance, your ability to recover, and your resistance to common diseases in old age. Muscle metabolism accounts for approximately 30% of resting energy expenditure, contributing to healthy metabolic balance. The shocking truth is that many doctors do not fully understand the cellular mechanisms of muscle loss, offering outdated advice. Researchers have found that muscle loss is not simply a result of age, but of specific, reversible molecular signals. These signals can be stopped or reversed with appropriate approaches based on the latest scientific research on muscle aging. 80-year-old adults have already demonstrated muscle recovery, equivalent to going back 20 years in the natural aging process. This reversal has occurred in clinical studies without drugs, with only specific modifications in daily lifestyle patterns. The first surprising factor that contributes to muscle loss is the increase in myostatin, a protein that actively blocks growth. With age, your myostatin levels naturally increase unless you do something specific to counteract this process. The second factor is anabolic endurance, where your body becomes less efficient at using protein to build new muscles. Even if you consume enough protein, your body may not be converting it into muscle tissue due to this metabolic resistance. The third factor is mitochondrial dysfunction, where the power plants of your muscle cells become less efficient. This dysfunction compromises the energy production necessary for the maintenance and repair of muscle tissue during normal aging. The good news: all these processes can be positively influenced by the habits we are about to reveal in this video. Studies show that individuals with higher muscle strength live, on average, 7 years longer than those with below average strength. And it's not just about living longer, but about living better, maintaining independence and quality of life in the golden years. What could be more valuable than ensuring that you can continue to take care of yourself without relying on others? You'll be surprised to find out how the next secret contradicts decades of misguided medical advice about nutrition in old age. 2. The miracle nutrient that 80% of seniors. Neglect, the muscle power vitamin. More than 80% of the elderly are deficient in what researchers call the muscle vitamin, essential for physical strength. Vitamin D deficiency is extremely common among older adults and quietly sabotages your strength with no obvious signs. This fact is significant for several reasons that go far beyond the bone health traditionally associated with vitamin D. Vitamin D affects almost every aspect of muscle health, from protein synthesis to the efficiency of muscle contraction. Recent findings indicate that vitamin D activates genes crucial for muscle protein synthesis and growth directly. It is not only a supportive nutrient, but an active regulator of gene expression related to muscle health in the elderly. Muscle cells have specific vitamin D receptors that initiate pathways responsible for muscle maintenance and renewal. When activated properly, these receptors trigger biochemical cascades that promote muscle growth and regeneration even in the elderly. One notable study revealed that seniors with optimal vitamin D levels demonstrated 25% more muscle strength. This striking difference was observed regardless of other factors such as diet, exercise, or underlying medical conditions. These individuals showed markedly improved balance, coordination, and reaction time, which are essential for preventing dangerous falls. Improvement in these fundamental physical functions is particularly important to maintain independence and security in everyday life. The super elderly consistently have optimal levels of vitamin D, exceeding 40 nanograms per milliliter in circulating blood. In contrast, the typical elderly often have levels below 20 nanograms per milliliter, which is considered clinically deficient. This discrepancy represents one of the most significant metabolic differences between ordinary older adults and those with exceptional muscle preservation. Sun exposure becomes less effective with age, as our skin produces 50% less vitamin D. This reduction in skin production begins around the age of 50 and accelerates significantly after the age of 70. Many elderly people need additional supplementation, between 2,000 and 4,000 international units daily, to reach optimal levels. This dosage should be adjusted according to individual blood test results to ensure optimal levels without excessive risk. Combine supplementation with vitamin D-rich foods like fatty fish, egg yolks, and fortified dairy products regularly. Add direct sun exposure of 15 to 20 minutes a day whenever possible, preferably in the less intense hours. An important warning: vitamin D must be combined with K2, which directs calcium to the bones and not to arteries. Without enough K2, high levels of vitamin D can potentially contribute to arterial calcification in some sensitive individuals. Combined D3 plus K2 supplements are available and often represent the safest option for older adults specifically. Consult your doctor about a vitamin D blood test to assess your current levels before starting supplementation. In the next section, we'll reveal the surprising method that super seniors use to preserve the vital connections between brain and muscle. 3. The hidden connection. Why your nerves may be the key to strong muscles at 80. The phenomenon of muscle loss goes far beyond the muscle fibers involved, starting with the often overlooked nerve connections. The initial decline usually occurs at the junction between your nerves and muscles, not the muscles themselves as many believe. This reality contradicts the conventional wisdom that focuses exclusively on the loss of muscle fibers as a primary problem. Neuromuscular junctions function as sophisticated electrical outlets, providing the energy needed for coordinated muscle activation. These junctions are the precise point where nerves transmit electrical signals that instruct muscles to contract forcefully. As deterioration occurs after the age of 60, communication between brain and muscles decreases significantly and progressively. This decline in neural communication explains why some older people maintain relatively good muscle mass but lose coordination and strength. This happens regardless of the protein intake or frequency of exercise you maintain over the years. You can consume excellent protein and train regularly, but still lose muscle function if these connections deteriorate. Recent research has revealed that super seniors with exceptional strength demonstrate significantly healthier and more numerous neuromuscular junctions. These preserved junctions allow for more efficient muscle recruitment, resulting in greater strength with the same amount of muscle tissue. Surprisingly, there are specific methods that can maintain and rejuvenate these essential connections, often overlooked by doctors. Neuroplasticity studies show that these junctions maintain the ability to adapt and regenerate even in the last decades of life. The first practice involves movement patterns that require precision and coordination, not just brute force or repetitive exercises. These precise movements create different neurological stimuli that specifically strengthen the connections between brain and muscles. Activities such as Tai Chi, dance, tennis, or ping pong have demonstrated a unique ability to enhance neural connections to muscles. These activities significantly outweigh the benefits provided by simple walking or conventional strength training without coordination. They compel your nervous system to engage muscle fibers in specific patterns, strengthening neuromuscular junctions in a unique way. One study revealed a 31% improvement in the preservation of neuromuscular junctions with regular coordinating activities. This benefit was observed compared to older adults who only followed traditional strength-focused exercise routines. The second practice focuses on specific compounds such as alpha-lipoic acid and acetyl-L-carnitine for neuromuscular protection against oxidation. These compounds exhibit neuroprotective properties that help preserve the structural integrity of neuromuscular junctions over time. Super elderly also practice specific breathing techniques that stimulate the vagus nerve, improving neuromuscular communication significantly. Simple techniques such as square breathing for just 5 minutes a day can improve neural activation of muscles by up to 15%. The connection between cognitive engagement and neuromuscular preservation is particularly intriguing and often overlooked by mainstream experts. Now, let's find out the surprising role that controlled stress plays in the muscle preservation of exceptionally strong adults. 4. Positive stress, the surprising Japanese technique that strengthens muscles at 80. Individuals in their 80s with remarkable strength often engage in practices that are counterintuitive to many mainstream experts. They routinely undergo specific types of stress, known as hormetic stressors, with impressive results for musculature. This concept directly contradicts the traditional view that the elderly should avoid all types of physical stress. Hormetic describes advantageous effects that arise from exposure to low doses of normally harmful substances in high doses. This fundamental biological principle demonstrates how small stressors can strengthen biological systems, including aging muscle tissue. In simple terms, certain controlled challenges can enhance your muscle strength, rather than wear it down as one would normally think. The concept resembles conventional exercise training, but applies to unconventional stressors that activate distinct metabolic pathways. Findings indicate that brief encounters with certain stressors trigger protective cellular responses for declining muscles. These responses not only maintain existing muscle integrity, but also improve its functionality and growth over time. Temperature variation is the initial hormetic stressor employed by super seniors with results that defy conventional understandings. Short exposure to cold, such as cold water baths for 30 seconds, stimulates brown fat and muscle mitochondrial biogenesis. This procedure activates adiponectin, a hormone that protects muscle tissue from the breakdown normally associated with natural aging. Some super seniors finish each bath with cold water. Others take brief immersions in ice water once or twice a week. Similarly, exposure to heat via saunas or hot baths stimulates heat shock proteins that repair muscle cells. These proteins play a crucial role in the repair of damaged cells and in the inhibition of age-accelerated protein degradation. A Finnish study revealed a 40% reduction in muscle loss in regular sauna users over a decade. This impressive muscle protection was observed regardless of other factors such as diet or exercise among participants. Intermittent fasting serves as the second hormonal stressor, limiting eating to an 8 to 10 hour daily window on a regular basis. This practice activates autophagy, a cellular cleaning mechanism that eliminates damaged components and improves muscle quality at the molecular level. Autophagy is particularly important for aging muscle tissue, which accumulates damaged proteins and dysfunctional organelles over time. Findings indicate that this practice can improve mitochondrial muscle function by up to 10% within just 12 weeks. The third stressor involves short, vigorous muscle contractions, known as overcoming isometry, for 5 to 10 seconds. These brief but intense contractions send strong signals to muscle cells, ensuring they maintain proper size and function. The effectiveness of these stressors lies in their intermittent and controlled nature, never too excessive or prolonged for recovery. They should be concise, accompanied by sufficient recovery periods to allow positive cellular adaptation without damage. When performed properly, they stimulate longevity genes like sirtuins and FOXO that preserve muscle tissue during aging. Start with manageable steps in these practices and progressively increase your tolerance as your body responds positively. It is essential to focus on achieving a manageable and advantageous level of stress, not pushing limits excessively, causing the opposite effect. Find out now how the specific timing to consume protein can make a crucial difference in muscle preservation during aging. 5. The deadly dinner mistake: how your meal timing is sabotaging your muscles. Many seniors obsessively focus on the total amount of protein consumed, ignoring an equally crucial factor: timing. The timing of protein intake may be even more significant than the total amount, especially after age 60. With advancing age, our bodies exhibit diminished efficiency in protein utilization, a phenomenon called anabolic endurance. This endurance means we need to be much more strategic about when we consume protein to maximize muscle benefits. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition indicates that older adults should distribute protein evenly throughout the day. This strategic approach contrasts markedly with the common practice of concentrating most of the protein intake at dinner. Research shows that most seniors consume less than 10 grams of protein for breakfast, which is not enough. The period after each meal presents a crucial opportunity for muscle protein synthesis, lasting approximately 3 to 4 hours. This metabolic window represents the time when your body is most receptive to converting ingested proteins into new muscle tissue. Consuming all of your protein at dinner results in missed opportunities for muscle building throughout the entire day. You essentially waste 2/3 of your daily potential for muscle protein synthesis with this common eating pattern. The ideal strategy involves targeting 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein at each main meal. This specific amount has been shown to maximize the anabolic response at each meal, with no additional benefit beyond this threshold. Breakfast should incorporate eggs, Greek yogurt, or protein smoothie, not just toast or low-protein cereal. These morning choices provide essential amino acids that start the protein synthesis process right after the overnight fast. For lunch and dinner, incorporate lean meats, fish, dairy, or plant-based proteins like beans and lentils in appropriate portions. Vegetarians and vegans need to be particularly conscientious about plant-based protein combinations to ensure a complete amino acid profile. Implementing this protein timing strategy can increase muscle protein synthesis by up to 25%. This impressive benefit was observed even when the total amount of protein consumed daily remained exactly the same. Participants who adhered to this method experienced an average gain in muscle mass of 1 pound in just 12 weeks. This result was achieved without any other lifestyle modifications, demonstrating the isolated power of protein timing. To maximize benefits, combine each high-protein meal with some form of light physical activity right after eating. Even a brief 10-minute walk after meals significantly increases blood flow to muscles, improving amino acid uptake. Researchers observed 20% higher amino acid absorption in older adults who performed light activity after protein meals. Avoid consuming refined carbohydrates in large quantities along with protein, as they promote inflammation that interferes with protein synthesis. Instead, combine protein with colorful vegetables and healthy fats that stabilize glycemic response and reduce postprandial inflammation. Are you ready to discover the specific cocktail of micronutrients that transforms the efficiency with which your body utilizes protein? 6. The micronutrient cocktail: ignored vitamins that transform weak muscles. While nutritional guidelines often emphasize macronutrients, specific micronutrients are absolutely essential for proper muscle health. These often overlooked nutrients play a crucial role in enhancing muscle function and facilitating protein synthesis, They function as enzymatic cofactors, metabolic regulators, and cell signaling in the complex process of muscle renewal. Without these factors, it is possible to consume adequate protein and exercise regularly, but still lose muscle mass continuously. This paradox explains why some people follow standard nutritional recommendations, but continue to experience uninterrupted progressive sarcopenia. Magnesium stands out as a crucial element, often referred to as the neglected electrolyte, essential for efficient muscle contraction. This mineral participates in more than 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, many directly related to muscle energy production. More than 70% of older adults are deficient in this essential mineral due to reduced absorption and inadequate intake. Studies have revealed that older adults with adequate magnesium levels showed a 30% increase in muscle strength. They also demonstrated markedly improved physical performance compared to individuals with even mild deficiencies of this essential mineral. Super seniors often include magnesium-rich foods like dark green vegetables, nuts, seeds, and dark chocolate regularly. They strategically supplement with highly bioavailable supplements like magnesium, glycinate, or threonate, which feature superior absorption. The most common forms like magnesium oxide are poorly absorbed, especially in the compromised digestive tract of many older adults. Creatine, often associated only with young bodybuilders, significantly benefits seniors in doses of 3 to 5 grams. This compound increases muscle energy reserves, improves cellular hydration, and provides a more favorable environment for muscle protein synthesis. Findings indicate that seniors supplementing with creatine experienced remarkable increases in muscle mass, strength, and cognitive function. These benefits surpass those obtained by strength training alone, making it a powerful complement to any anti-sarcopenia program. Methylated B12 is often underestimated, but its deficiency, which is extremely common in the elderly, directly affects energy and muscle function. With advancing age, the efficiency of B12 absorption decreases significantly due to the reduction in stomach acid production. Common medications like metformin and proton pump inhibitors exacerbate this deficiency, further compromising muscle health. Mineral cofactors such as zinc, selenium, and chromium support protein synthesis and insulin sensitivity, essential for muscle nutritional delivery. These trace minerals work synergistically with B vitamins to optimize energy metabolism within muscle cells. Older adults with adequate levels of these minerals preserved up to 22% more muscle mass over time. This benefit was observed over 5 years compared to those experiencing disabilities, even with equivalent exercise. Instead of generic multivitamins, super seniors perform micronutrient testing to customize supplementation to specific individual needs. This customized strategy ensures that they are meeting specific biochemical requirements without unnecessary expenditure on non-essential nutrients. Think of micronutrients as the workers who build their muscles, while protein is simply the building material. Without enough workers, even though we have an abundance of materials, muscle building simply does not progress properly with age. We will now reveal the exercise technique considered the most effective anti-aging intervention ever found, according to leading researchers. 7. The golden technique of the super elderly. The exercise that reverses decades of muscle loss. The most crucial habit that distinguishes 80-year-olds with remarkable strength is specific progressive resistance training. This training differs significantly from the typical methods employed by many older adults in conventional traditional exercise programs. It's not just about lifting weights, but a specific scientifically validated protocol for reversing muscle decline. Super seniors follow specific protocols that address biological processes underlying muscle loss, not just exercise muscles superficially. They train in a fundamentally different way from the conventional paradigms often recommended for adults in advanced age. There is an often overlooked fundamental truth. Muscle function strictly follows the biological principle of use it or lose it. This principle applies at any age, but becomes particularly critical after the age of 60 when sarcopenia naturally accelerates. For effective preservation, muscles need to be subjected to progressive challenges that gradually increase over time. They must be consistently exposed to stimuli greater than they are used to in order to continue adapting positively. Walking, water aerobics, or using the same light weights week after week is absolutely insufficient to preserve mass after 60 years. These activities, while beneficial for other aspects of health, simply do not provide enough stimulation for proper muscle maintenance. The super elderly approach emphasizes intensity over duration, approaching momentary muscle failure only twice a week. Findings indicate that older adults who train at high intensity twice a week achieve better results than those who train 5 times moderately. This point of momentary muscle failure triggers anabolic responses that stimulate protein synthesis for up to 72 hours. When performed correctly, this particular protocol creates a hormonal environment that is systemically conducive to muscle growth and preservation. They focus on compound movements that activate several muscle groups simultaneously: squats, deadlifts, rows, bench presses. These multi-joint exercises elicit a more significant hormonal response compared to isolation exercises such as biceps curls. Compound movements stimulate the release of testosterone, growth hormone, and IGF-1, creating a systemically favorable anabolic environment. They strictly apply the principle of progressive overload, systematically increasing resistance or difficulty over time. Your muscles respond to the stress you impose, meaning that the same weights constantly result in plateauing and eventual decline. Super seniors meticulously monitor their exercise routines and consistently challenge themselves to progressively achieve incremental improvements. They keep detailed records and work to increase endurance, repetitions, or technical quality in each training session. There is a focus on the eccentric or lowering phases of exercise, which are especially beneficial for improving strength in older adults. This negative phase produces greater muscle tension with lower joint stress, ideal for elderly populations with joint concerns. One study revealed an average gain in muscle mass of 1.5 pounds and a 35% increase in strength. These impressive changes were accompanied by improvements in glycemic control, bone density, and cognitive function in just 12 weeks. The most prevalent mistake among older adults is to believe that resistance training poses risks or lacks relevance to them. In fact, the real risk lies in neglecting this training, allowing for continued deterioration of muscle mass and independence. Start with expert guidance to ensure correct technique and safety, gradually progressing as your conditioning allows. Ideally, work with a professional who specializes in training for elderly populations to develop a safe, individualized program. Engaging in just 2 30-minute sessions a week can significantly alter your muscle aging process. Here are the 7 evidence-based habits that reveal how certain 80-year-olds preserve extraordinary muscle strength. Start today with the habit that seems easiest for you to adopt and progressively add the others to your daily routine. The secret to long-term success is consistency and gradual progression, not dramatic transformations or unsustainable intensive programs. Super seniors have achieved impressive results through consistent habits maintained over years, not weeks or months. They understood that small, sustainable changes easily outweigh large, temporary changes in the context of healthy aging. The choices you are making today will inevitably yield significant benefits to your future strength and autonomy. Every rep during your resistance training, every balanced protein-rich meal, every proper nutritional supplement counts. These seemingly small decisions accumulate over time, creating a dramatic difference in your future quality of life. Imagine being able to continue doing all the activities you love, stay active with family and friends, living fully beyond 80. Visualize yourself walking easily, carrying your own groceries, playing with your grandchildren, all without pain or physical limitations. This is not an unrealistic dream, but a concrete possibility backed by science and exemplified by the super seniors we studied extensively. Researchers at Stanford University estimate that by implementing these 7 habits, the risk of physical dependence reduces by up to 70%. This dramatic reduction represents the difference between living at home independently or needing institutional care in recent years. You have the power to choose that path today by implementing these 7 proven habits for lasting muscle strength. The journey to becoming a super senior doesn't begin at age 70 or 80, but right now, with your next decision. Which of these habits will you implement first? What simple change can you make today to start your transformation? Remember that the investment you make today in your muscle health will pay exceptional dividends for decades to come.